Hello, everyone. This is David, Fairly Secret Music. I normally don't do review videos for CDs that come out like on the same day that they come out, but this one I have really enjoyed. This is Marillion's 1 hour before it's dark. Um, Hopefully, you like the way I have this set up where I'm going to show you how. Just because it's always hard for me to get things set up, and hopefully you don't mind this microphone clip here, but it holds CDs really well. And so what you get in this, I got the domestic version done by Edel, Ear Music, and Intact. And this is the 2-disc version. The second one is a DVD. The first one is obviously the audio, and then you get this booklet. I will just put this up here so we have that in the shot. I really don't like when people go, oh, here's the CD, and then they sit and they talk about things and they just look at the stuff down here and stuff. But in the booklet, you get all the lyrics, and I do have the listing on Discogs. So there are, I believe, 8 songs on here. So all the lyrics in the booklet. Let me actually just tell you what else is on the DVD. I did a screenshot of the menu for the DVD, and that DVD has An Hour Before It's Dark documentary, making of, that has also subtitles. The album audio in stereo, high-res stereo, and in 5.1. The whole album as instrumentals in 5.1. The song Murder Machines in 5.1, which I think is a video. And Murder Machines 12-inch remix. So we'll get to what is on this. There is... The first song is Be Hard on Yourself. And a lot of these songs have multiple parts, and there are 18 tracks on the whole album, but I only think there are 8 songs. Yeah, so each song, or a lot of the songs, have multiple parts where they go into each other. And I'm going to just say this. This is the most excited when listening to a Marillion album that I have been since I first heard Marbles. So that is saying a lot. Jesus, my beard is huge right now. This is about half of where I want it to be. Be Hard on Yourself, the first part, Tear in the Big Picture, is possibly one of the best opening tracks they've done since Invisible Man on Marbles. Ian Mosley's drumming is fantastic on this whole album, but right off the bat, he just seems to be like a guy who has a new drum set, you know. And he's just really impressive, and throughout the whole album, he's really impressive. The Tear in the Big Picture goes into Lust for Luxury, which is more mellow, and a lot of these songs kind of remind me of the last 3 tracks on Holidays in Eden, the This Town, Rake's Progress, and 100 Nights. And I'll talk a little bit more about that later, because the last track really kind of reminds me of that. Of course, you don't get great lines like you list all the qualities that you despise and you realize you're describing yourself, or things like the "you didn't notice me as I passed you on the stairs. How would you ever guess by, you know, she uses your money on me." That is some of my favorite Hogarth lyrics. But let's go back to "Be Hard on Yourself." So first track, or first, well, yeah, it is the first track, but the first part of that song, just amazing right out of the gate. And then "Lust for Luxury" brings it down a little bit. "You Can Learn" kind of builds it up again, and that's the third and final part of that. "Reprogram the Gene" is another really kind of powerful song. One that, so there's "Invincible," "Trouble-Free Life," and "A Cure for Us," which are the three parts for that song. What I like about this album is that the lyrics aren't like so on the nose, you know. I like the fact that they're talking about the pandemic, but it's in a more like a vague or kind of a cryptic way. You have to really read the lyrics to see what he's singing about. I went through all the lyrics after I listened to the whole album. My wife and I actually went on a drive and listened to the whole album while we were driving, because that is usually where I do my most kind of concentrated listening. That or down here, but sometimes I get preoccupied with video games, so I've been listening to a lot of power metal lately. There's a song called "Only a Kiss," which is an instrumental, and it's really a throwaway track. So you'll hear it and you'll go, yeah, that's kind of irrelevant. I also think they could have just had these songs be all one track, because the three parts in, or the multiple parts in each song, they are separated by track markers. So, you know, if you want to have the whole "Be Hard on Yourself," you'd have to actually put 3 tracks onto your mixtape that you're making for your personal, or for your significant other. You know, if you decided you wanted to put these on a mixtape. "Murder Machines" I think is good. I have a feeling this is the first single. One thing with that is it's kind of, I mean, this is the one of the 2 songs that doesn't have multiple parts, and I almost think "The Crow and the Nightingale" would have been a better song, and that's because it starts out kind of mellow, whereas "Murder Machines" is kind of it's my least favorite on the whole album. Let's just say that. "The Crow and the Nightingale" has an amazing Rothery solo, and that I'm sorry, I want to go back to "Be Hard on Yourself," because there is an awesome keyboard solo, or at least I think it is keyboard, at the end of that first part, because it doesn't, I'm not sure if it's just like a guitar synth or just a setting on his guitar, but I'm pretty sure, and I've only listened to that song twice, that one is a keyboard solo. So "Crow and the Nightingale," mellower song at beginning, just amazing guitar solo at the end. Sierra Leone has actually 5 parts to it. That's another one that kind of goes up and down. One other thing I would like to say is I think this is Hogarth's best vocal performance in a long time. I haven't been really super impressed with the last few albums that they've put out. I've liked them enough, but not enough, obviously, to do a review video like this. Um, but the very last song, oh, and another thing that I wanted to say is that I like the fact that the lyrics are more vague, more cryptic. Nothing is kind of like, here you go, this is the preachy part. I don't like getting knocked over the head with real life when I'm trying to listen to music and kind of bring myself out of music. That's why, metal is so good, because it kind of just pulls you out of real life. But this whole album ends with the song Care, and this song reminds me the most of the last three on Holidays in Eden. Holidays in Eden, which is probably one of my favorite Hogarth era Marillion albums, just because of those last three tracks alone. I just love how that album ends, and this album ends in not a similar way. Just it's again another 4-part song, but the song Every Cell has an amazing guitar solo again. Everybody is really good on this album, but it takes till the last song Care for Pete Travis to really start impressing me on this album. And once I go back to it and listen to it a few more times, I probably will pick out things, but there were certain bass parts in that song that really stood out to me. Rothery's got those 2 solos that really stood out. Mosley's drumming, and then that keyboard solo on the first song, and just the strong vocal performance, and lyrics that I like that aren't knocking you over the head with here's the kind of message we want to send. I like the more cryptic lyrics. The one thing I don't like is Care of Angels is like a 15-minute track, and Care of Angels is actually only 5 minutes of that. There are like 3 minutes or so of silence, and then it basically does the Murder Machines 12-inch remix. And having a bonus track like that where it's not its own track, they could have had Care of Angels and have a minute or two of a silent track, and then have the single or the remix be the like the 20th track or something like that, rather than have it be a 15-minute track. I mean, because now people who are making mixtapes, they're gonna have to edit that shit down, because nobody wants to sit through 2 minutes of silence or fast forward through that. So overall, I would give this album, which I didn't have really high hopes for, and I'm not too thrilled with this cover. The thing is, and I mean, if they would have done that, I would have been even less impressed. There were so many different photos in here that they could have used that were maybe more interesting than this cover. At this state in their career, they've had a lot of really great covers. I just think the last, since Marbles, they've had just kind of unfortunate covers. If they had that as the cover, I would have been like, ugh, yuck. Because that is, I understand why, and I understand, having to nod to all the people that have sacrificed and healthcare workers. I love the fact that they have this because my niece is a nurse. Um, Care of Angels is that, but yeah, I'm not sure about either of these as covers. So, but again, as I was saying, that weird 3 minutes of extra silence and then the bonus track just reeks of 1994. It's like, no, the 90s had all that bullshit hidden tracks. So just make it its own track. Just put it on there. But as I said, and I've gone on tangents. Sorry about that. This, I wasn't expecting to like this as much as I do, and out of 10, I would, 10 being an amazing album, nothing wrong with it. I would give this album probably an 8.5. So give it a listen. I'm sure you'll be able to find it somewhere because some jackasses put it online streaming, or buy it. There are very crazy versions, and as I said before, the DVD does come with the 5.1. There's a sticker on it when you buy it in this format, on this one, and there's like a standalone Blu-ray version that does not come with a CD. That one has a little bonus stuff extra, I think, on the Blu-ray, but that was $23.99 alone. This was $19.99 for the 2-disc, and it was like $17.99 for just the album. So you might as well pay the extra $2, get the whole thing in 5.1, get that documentary, get the instrumental versions in stereo and 5.1 also. It was just bad marketing that they didn't mention the 5.1 on that sticker at all, because you have no idea anywhere on this packaging that that Blu-ray or the Blu-ray, well, that the DVD has 5.1. The Blu-ray actually does say 5.1 on the back, and but yeah, and I've listened to parts of the 5.1. I wasn't super excited about the mix, but I didn't listen to the whole thing yet. I just listened to the first track. It's not something that's blown me away right at the beginning, but there's so much on this album that can be used to create a nice big space around you. Another kind of album that it kind of reminds me of a little bit, just a little bit of Brave, kind of in the scope and the textures and all of that. So hopefully you like this review. Hopefully this helps you decide which version you want to get. Give Marillion an hour before it's dark. I keep forgetting that title. This is their 20th album, I believe. I believe it's album number 20. All right. Have a good day and stay safe. Safe.